Minnesota Vikings have a very deep roster, but there are 5 dark horses you need to watch for that could make the team. Minnesota Vikings have a great roster. Let's just be real. Their only major questions are at cornerback and quarterback. And JJ McCarthy has been a huge topic this offseason because we just don't know what he's going to be. He hasn't played a single regular season snap yet. And once he does, we're going to get a better semblance of what he's going to be in the NFL. But under Kevin O'Connell, really shouldn't be any sort of doubt. He's been great with everybody under center, and he has maximized each single quarterback, including getting Kirk Cousins and Sam Darnold paid a combined $80 million in average annual value. There are 5 undrafted free agents I think you need to keep an eye on as we continue to move forward. Let's start at the top. Running back Trey Stewart, Jacksonville State. Played at Limestone before that. Not exactly high level of competition, but he ran like a monster. And he's built like one too. He's short, compact, and powerful. Plus, he's got enough speed to be able to hit doubles and triples while also having the power to break arm tackle. But the key here with Stewart is going to be this. He has to beat out Ty Chandler. If he can't beat out Ty Chandler in the special teams realm, he won't make the team. Because that's how you're going to have to beat out Ty Chandler for his job. Special teams. Special teams do make special teams. Let's continue on. The other player that I think has a realistic chance, but did not make my initial 53-man roster projection post-minicamp, Logan Brown, offensive tackle from Kansas. Now, he's an interesting one. Former 5-star recruit, got kicked out of Wisconsin for reportedly beating up a teammate. And it was so bad that when he said he entered the transfer portal, then interim head coach Jim Leonard was like, no, we kicked you off the team. But he's got a lot of talent. He's got great size, length, and athleticism. But when you're not drafted, it doesn't matter how good you are from an athleticism standpoint. You have to be able to prove it. And you're going to have less opportunities because you weren't drafted. He's got to beat out Walter Rouse or prove that you need to have a 5th offensive tackle on staff. And if he can do that, sky's the limit. But there were 3 undrafted free agents that did make the team, and they're on defense. They are on defense. First one, Tyler Baddy, BYU. Baddy's a really, really interesting player. And when it comes to Baddy, I think that there is a lot to offer. Now, Baddy, he just turned 26. Not only was he a 6-year player, but he also served a 2-year Mormon mission. So he's older, but he's incredibly powerful, 275 pounds. He's got 33-inch arms, and he's stout. He is not going to be moved easily by double teams despite his lighter frame because it's packed with muscle. Packed with muscle. And you know what? That edge room could use it because Gabe Murphy, right now they're projected 4th edge rusher, 30.5-inch arms. Bo Richter, more of the hybrid kind of guy, 30-inch arms. But he's an elite special teamer, so he's probably got a spot on the roster, especially with the versatility to be kind of a dollar store Andrew Van Ginkel. But Baddy, with that ability to play the run and that hot motor, he's a guy that could eventually come in, play 10 to 15 snaps a game, spell Van Ginkel or Grenard, and make things a little bit easier. Plus, you could have him play on the interior as a 4-eye because he's got that kind of power. There's one more defender on the list, but I want to go back to offense. Quarterback Max Brosmer from Minnesota. Very interesting player, was at New Hampshire prior. And while he was at New Hampshire, he lit it up with Dylan Lave, who got picked in the 5th round by the Las Vegas Raiders in the 2024 NFL draft. And one of the interesting things about Brosmer is he's got a really strong arm, but he was way too conservative with his decision-making in Minnesota. And sometimes it was a little bit questionable with that decision-making when he actually did fire away. But he was one of the more efficient, if not the most efficient quarterback on 3rd and intermediate and 3rd and long because of his willingness to throw over the middle. College quarterbacks aren't often willing to throw over the middle, mainly because a lot of college offenses don't ask you to throw over the middle other than glance routes. He's throwing crossers. He's throwing digs. He's doing a lot of those kind of stuff with PJ Fleck's offense. And you know what? Those are the kind of things that Kevin O'Connell loves to have in the offense. So it makes more sense to have a developmental guy like Brosmer over Brett Rippon, because Rippon you can stash on the practice squad, with Brosmer, maybe you can't. Because a guy like Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan might be one to pick that guy up and develop him just like you want to. The last guy on the list is a cornerback. And cornerback is one of the biggest need areas for this Minnesota Vikings team. Zamaya Vaughn from Utah. And it's really interesting that Vaughn didn't get drafted because he's got really nice size and length. 6'2.5", 32-inch arms. He's got a great athleticism profile. So why did he go undrafted? He weighs 180 pounds and he can be thrown around like the string bean he is. Here's where it doesn't matter as much. With how Brian Flores likes to play, he wants his cornerbacks to be able to read, react, and crash, attack the football, attack the zone. And Vaughn can do all of those things. Because you're not going to ask him to play a lot of press, some of those physical concerns are not going to be as apparent. Because they're not as apparent, well, you can maximize the guy. The Vikings have had no problem drafting slender players. Jordan Addison, Kai Blackman, last year's UDFA find Dwight McGlothern. They have no problem trusting a guy who's a little slender. Why? Because they can maximize the rest of their game. It's going to be really interesting to see who ends up making the team. Right now, 3 UDFAs are going to, with a couple more that could. We're going to have a lot more for you here this offseason. I'm Tyler Forness, A to Z Sports. Go Vikings.